You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
From the Elite, we got Tone C. Tone, how are you this evening?
I am doing fantastic, Zane. How are you?
I am doing well. In the second hour, guys, we've got a good friend of ours, JB Moonshine from Blue Collar Wrestling. We do want to thank Angry Marks Podcast Network, where you can listen to all your favorite MMA and pro wrestling podcasts. They've got new shows every day, so check them out at AngryMarks.com, and you can go to iTunes and use the keyword Angry Marks, and you can hit the little subscribe gimmick, and you can listen to great shows every day. And we'd also like to thank T-Shirt World Order, which hopefully will have an Elite shirt coming out soon. But until they do, make sure to go out and get the Undisputed Wrestling Show T-shirt. And if you use the promo code Moonshine this week, you'll save 5 ducats off your total order. So definitely go check that out. All right, guys, you ready for our main event at the open of the show?
Absolutely.
I'm going to take that for a yes. I believe this is his third time on the show with us. We are so thankful to have him on. We've got the wild-eyed Southern boy, Tracy Smothers. Tracy, how are you this evening?
All good. Just got the NBA Finals on. Watching that. It's from work. Just chilling out.
Were you working at Sandy's today?
Oh, yeah. I took a nap. I had to run some errands, afterwards.
Now, I think you might have talked about this on the awesome video that you made with Cliff Compton and Freight Train. You were wearing the Sandy's pizza shirt. You were getting naked. Have you put out a Sandy's?
I changed. I had a Battle Royal. I had to go. Right from there, I had to get dressed. I had to. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think they should put it on there, but they did. But anyway.
I've heard from a few of our female listeners that they were upset that they put the High Spots logo over your junk that night.
Okay.
Have you put out any Sandy's Pizza T-shirts yet?
No, I just got some of my own, actually. Just got them like a couple weeks ago, I guess. And I've just been selling them at some shows I've been at.
Oh, man, I need to see you again.
I'm talking Sandy's Pizza. Plug Sandy's Pizza, Fort Branch, Indiana. It's on Facebook or sandyspizza.net. Okay, got to plug that. That's one's just front.
we love to hear that, and I can't wait to go down to Sandy's Pizza in Fort Branch and get some. What do you recommend from them?
Do what now?
What's your favorite food item at Sandy's?
Oh, they're all meat lovers pizza. Oh my gosh, they load it up. It's really good. It's good. Yeah,
well, we've talked to our listeners that are listening for the first time to one of our shows with you. We have had you on a few times in the past. So if those listeners can go to the Undisputed Wrestling Show.weebly.com, they can go to the archives, find your little picture on there, and listen to those past shows. So if those listeners want to hear about Tracy's full career, then we'd love for you to go back and listen to those. But tonight we wanted to just have some fun and talk with you about what's going on with you and some of your thoughts on things in pro wrestling and otherwise. So I'm going to kick it over to the Morning Star, Will Huckabee, to ask you the first real question.
Hey, Tracy, thank you for being on the show again for the third time. We really do appreciate it, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
For anybody who's been listening, anybody who knows anything about wrestling, they know that you are not only a consummate professional and a veteran, but you have helped train and guide so many young guys in this business. My first question, I've got to get your opinion on the matter and stuff, because I like to think that you're a very old school guy, but the whole Bill DeMott situation down there in WWE, at NXT in Florida and stuff, what is your opinion on his training methods, about the trainees, the guys at the school complaining and sending their letters and stuff, and ultimately how he ended up turning in his resignation? What's your opinion about that entire situation?
I mean, I know Bill. I've known him since he started when he was Crash the Terminator, in Japan, before he got to WCW. you know, as God, I can't remember what was he called in WCW. What was he called? Dadgummit. What was he called in WCW?
Hugh Morris.
Hugh Morris, yeah.
Yes, Hugh Morris. Yes, Hugh Morris. But I've known him since then, and you know, and I just know what I heard. And you don't, unless you're there, it's hard to make an assessment of it. But I do know as a head trainer, they want them to be real like a drill sergeant. You know, I mean, honestly, like a military drill sergeant almost, and really make them do all those drills and bump drills and a lot of other things they do. You know, that's just that's what they want. You know, from the top down. And as far as how he treated guys, I've heard things. I mean, you know, guys I know that have said, and I don't want to dog him. I don't want to knock him because I'm not there. I didn't witness it. And I've learned, of course, in anything, but with wrestling, unless you are, you know, you're really not fair to make a judgment on it of any of that. But I've heard some bad things, and I've heard some good things. You know, I really can't. You know, I mean, I would do it different, but that's me. And everybody has a different twist to what they're doing when they're training guys. But I mean, I've heard bump drills that they would do, and guys have been around, been in the business. These guys all know how to bump, unless they're learning training in the first stages. I didn't see why they would do that, but and I've heard, you know, as anywhere, I guess they play favorites or, I mean, whatever the deal. If he did, he did. I don't know, you know. But you hear a lot of things, and I guess like Tenzai, he replaced him, Albert, and he's a big guy that gives them the Japanese perspective, and plus in the training. And I know as a head trainer, they do want that. You know, that makes any sense what I'm saying. If I'm not there, I can't judge. You know, if I didn't witness it, see it with my own eyes, and I'm not going to comment on something I don't know nothing about, or that I just heard hearsay or on the internet. You know what I mean?
Tracy, now, I asked you that because I wanted to ask you. You know, so you still do a lot of shows? And
I don't think they ever should have released Tom Pritchard. I think that was crazy. Whoever made that order is crazy. I mean, Tom Pritchard, I mean, he only trained The Rock, trained John Cena, and to me, those guys should have stepped in and said something. He was Steve Austin's first partner in the old Tennessee territory. That's three of the top guys ever. But I mean, hey, what do I know?
We've had Dr. Tom Pritchard on before, and he was great. And, you know, he made a good point that all those guys that they keep saying they brought up from NXT, no, they were actually Florida Championship Wrestling guys that he trained. So, you know, he's definitely an asset to any wrestling company.
Well, Tom would certainly know. He sure would know. I've been in the ring with him a lot, known him a long time. And I was shocked when that happened a few years ago. But if anything, clicks and playing the game, politics, and a lot of that. And, you know, they like to have a guy like similar to Bill, that's the bad guy, the heat guy, that's real hard ass. And they like to have a guy with guys, teachers like, you know, Terry Taylor, Dusty, you know, Norman Smiley, Bobby Brookside, you know what I mean? You know, guys like that. Sarah, teaching the girls, and boy, she's just done a great job. And, I mean, you hear things, and I guess, maybe I've heard things like, I guess some of Tom's guys kind of got a hard time from Bill because they were Tom's guys and in the business. It's just the way it is. It's just guilty by association. It's not fair. I mean, you know, I'm sitting there watching basketball. I mean, LeBron James is LeBron James because he's LeBron James. You know what I mean? He's great. And unfortunately for wrestling, it still seems to be that way. Because there's a lot of guys that are good ones that, you know, that they let go. I mean, look at Ethan Carter, and he's doing great. You know, there's a lot of other guys, too. So, you know. Hey there?
Yeah, okay. Now, Tracy, my question is this, you know, and I actually had to ask you this. Do you think, you know, with the current state of wrestling, and you travel up and down the road week in and week out, do you think that, you know, that a lot of these training schools need to go back to the old school way of training guys, where Vern Gagne used to have guys doing fireman's carry and running 5 miles a day and 500 Hindu squats a day to build their cardio. Do you think that we need to go back to that style of training and making guys learn on the road, or do you think it's better now with guys in a controlled environment?
Well, I mean, the Performance Center, if you've seen that thing, it's great. And you know, and you of course learn a lot with guys that they got there that are coaches, I guess they call them that now, trainers or whatever. But it's always good, the best to learn in front of live people, and a live crowd at a show. You know, it really is, but it's good to have both. But I mean, the best way is in you know, on a show. I mean, in the ring, in the heat of the battle. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, hey there.
Yes, sir.
Did I answer that question right? I'm watching the final. I'm not losing, you know, but did I answer the question halfway right? I always see LeBron win it in Cleveland. I always hated Cleveland, but I like to see him win it.
See, I'm going for Golden State. I'm going for Golden State, and I love Steph Curry. That and his dad plays for Carolina.
Oh, he's great. So. His little girl's precious. She is adorable. She's over. She's great. But it's good, though. It is good in a school, don't get me wrong. But there's only so much the way to learn is in front of people, at a show, in the ring, you know, and that's how you learn how to work, you know.
All right. Well, I'm going to pass it back over to Zane. Zane, what do you have for Tracy Smothers?
Well, Tracy, once again, I want to thank you for coming on. And, you know, Tommy Rogers passed away just a little over a week ago. Can you tell us of any of your favorite stories of Tommy Rogers with the Fantastics?
Oh, yeah. Him and Bobby, I met him a couple times when I started in 83, but about 84, 85, something like that. I wasn't full-time in the business yet, and I can remember the first time they came by us. We were somewhere on a parkway, and whoever I was traveling with, I don't remember, it was doing 75 or 80 or something, and they passed us like we were tied to a tree, and they slowed down. And Tommy Rogers got up and was in a moonroof of the car and mooned us. And they were doing about 100, man. I'm serious. That's the first time I ever met Tommy Rogers. And then I traveled with him a lot after that. And I was loading trucks. My old job, I wasn't full-time yet. I had when I was in college. And they let me sleep in the back of the car, either be in Tommy's Cadillac or Bobby's little car. And God, Bobby, that car was a race car. Tommy didn't drive as fast as Tommy, as Bobby. But when Bobby drove, I made sure to curl up with it. I was scared to death. You know, they always watched the matches, watched my matches, and told me what I did wrong. I went on to Louisiana in '86, and they came on later there, and same thing there. You know, would see them all around, you know, for years, and worked with Tommy a lot in the old ECW, worked pay-per-view with him. And just remember, you know, we were like just happy at our age then to be on, you know, on a pay-per-view, and it was a lot of fun. And I think he had hurt his neck again, and then Paul had him as an agent there for a while, helping the guys. And I saw him around when I was trainer in Memphis in 2000. I saw him around Memphis. His ex-wife is widow now. Well, they had divorced, but they got back together. She's from Memphis, and you know, and would see him around there, and he'd come around the workouts a lot. And yeah, I honestly, I worked a show with him not long after that when I was released, and that's the last time I saw him and said hello to people, each other, you know, other friends over the years. But I guess he moved to Hawaii in like 2006, and you know, and then he came back for that reunion in Mid-South down the WrestleMania the year before last. And you know, time flies. I mean, look up, it's 15 years, and since I had seen him, and now, of course, he's gone. It's just sad. It was a big shock.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
It's just another guy in the professional wrestling industry that's gone too soon. It's very, very sad. He was only
I guess he had
54
some problems, some things going on in his life, and I don't want to speculate on any of that because I don't know how it is with rumors and everything, and sure don't want to shed anything negative on. But it's just sad that he's gone and terrible. He's a lot of fun to be around. He was. Sure was. And he knew this business. He was great in the ring, boy. He was a heck of a worker. He sure was.
Now you've got a big show coming up in Adrian, Michigan, here in a couple weeks on June 20th in Adrian, Michigan for the Summer Showdown up there at the UAW Labor Building. Do you know who you're working with that night?
I don't know. For Rudy Hill, Rude Boy, I think I'm wrestling him. I'm not sure. Don't quote me though, but I think I am. And as far as I know, I think I'm going to be doing a seminar. They had mentioned that, so and I've got one this weekend, June 13th, Jasper, Alabama, teaming up with Steve Armstrong, my old partner, doing the Southern Boys. And Bob Armstrong will be there, which that's just awesome to see them. And Wildcat Wendell Cooley, I don't know if you guys ever remember him. He was really good back in the day. And he got out of the business a long time ago. He'd hurt his knee a few times, pretty bad. But I'm doing internet pay-per-view there, it is. And doing that the 20th in Adrian, Michigan. And then the 26th and 27th is a festival up around Peoria, Illinois for Midwest Impact Pro. You can go to their Facebook for the details. It's 2 days, Friday and Saturday. And July 18th, I'm in Temple, Georgia. July 16th, I believe I'm in Camden, Tennessee. July 24th, I'm in Bellevue, Illinois. Just trying to think offhand. August 1st, I'm somewhere up around Peoria, Illinois. August 8th in Rockford, Tennessee, Rockwood. And August 15th, I'm for Wildcat Wrestling for Luke Halt down in Louisiana around New Orleans. And then the 22nd, I'm in West Newton, Pennsylvania for RWA. I can't remember anything past that.
Well, okay, so you're doing seminar this weekend in Alabama, and then next the following weekend up in Michigan. What do you?
The 21st of June, after the day after Adrian, I'm doing a seminar in Bellevue, Illinois, or Peoria, around that area for Midwest Impact Pro. I am doing a seminar on a Sunday.
Now, are these seminars, are they for experienced guys that you're just going to give a little bit more information to? Some
guys that had matches or a few matches, or guys that had matches, or some just newly training, whatever, whoever shows up. I've never worked for them in Adrian, Michigan, so I don't know. But the other guys in Peoria, it's usually guys that they've had a few matches, or some had I've been working a little while, and
I would think from talking with you in the past and listening to you on other shows and videos, probably one of the things that you might stress to them is to slow down and not have to get everything in. Work the crowd.
and doing it at the right time, and you see a lot of shows where guys get together and go over and do a lot of things. First, find out what the booker wants out of your match, who he wants over, how he wants it, and what he's coming back with, and then what the story to go with your match. And then I always stress the guys don't rush so much, and 1 second means a lot in what we do, and show the facial expressions, and and to sell, to register what's been done. You see a lot of guys just going hard, but they're neglecting some of the little things, and and we all do it. You got to be your own worst critic, but you see that, and you see a lot that when you start your match, it's like a movie. if you're dropping all your big bombs at the first, what are you going to finish it with? So you want to build it and, and then be aware of what the other match in front of you has done, and don't copy anybody's finish or signature moves or things like that, and you see a lot of repeats, and you do, you really do, and there's a few other things I just can't, I can't think, but I always try to watch all the matches when I'm there, and try to go different when I'm doing. I can't do what they're doing anyway, so.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. I've seen you work a match against Sugar Dunkerton where you guys danced for 5 minutes, and that was way more entertaining than people trying to do.
Yeah, but you know what? We had to cut that short. They cut us short because of time. Some of the earlier matches had went pretty long. You know how it is in any show that happens. So that's why that happened like that. We had a lot we were going to do, and didn't do it, but I guess it worked out all right. But, that's just what happened. But that's why we had some good stuff that we were going to do. And he's got a good mind for the business, Sugar does. He's a lot of fun to work with, and he's got a lot of charisma.
Yes, he does. Well, speaking of a lot of charisma, we got a heel on the line with us. Representing the Elite, I'm going to kick it over to Michigan guy himself, Tone C. Tone, what do you have for Tracy Smothers?
Well, good evening, Tracy. Thanks for being on the show. I'm a big fan of your work. I don't know if you remember him or not, but a good friend of mine says he's worked a lot of shows with you. Hank Calhoun told me to tell you hi. My question for you is I'm really big into the stories and the guys that were around when I first became a fan of the business back in the 80s. And I'm especially intrigued by the road stories. So my question for you is what would be your best road story that you can think of right off the top of your head?
Oh, God. That's pretty hard.
I'm sure it is.
A lot of, as in, I mean, what way? I mean,
well, it's, you can say whatever you want on the show, so whatever you want.
Well, Shane Matthews, he works at Superstar. Shane Matthews from West Virginia. We were somewhere in West Virginia or Virginia somewhere, and I mean, it was just a old country road, logging road, and it was mountainous on both sides. There was no houses around, nothing. There was no sign of life, nothing. I mean, in both on the curb of each side of the road was just cliff. And there's not a cliff, but a hill, woods. And we look up, and this guy just comes out of nowhere, and there was nothing around. I'm telling you, nothing. And it was winding road going. I think it was, I want to say, Red Jacket, West Virginia. And the guy had a gorilla suit on. I'm just jumping up and down, just going crazy. And we just kept going. And he's like, we cannot believe him. We just saw that. But yeah, that was a good one. True story. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my other question for you would be, I'm really big into Kayfabe. A lot of the shows that I work on and that I go to, you'll see a lot of guys that are supposed to play heels on the show, and they're out selling their merch and mingling with the fans and stuff like that. I guess because you're an old school guy, I guess I just kind of want your thoughts on that.
Well, I've done it too. I've done it too.
Right on.
But then I go right out being a heel. But I mean, in the day when it was like it, when Kayfabe was, you didn't do that. You didn't want to be seen, really. Honestly, you didn't.
Right.
Because it would hurt your heat. You didn't want to, you try to watch it. And you still do when you're watching the matches, you want to, be where you're not doing nothing to take away from what's in the ring. But you didn't do that. But nowadays with this all, everyone's smart and all, it depends on the show, I guess, too. how the guy runs. Some guys run their shows like that. They don't want the heels out the table, and some don't mind, and some of the marks, as I don't know, it's kind of hard to get heat anyway with them. But I've done it and sold gimmicks, and I always try to have somebody sell my stuff where look like it just looks kind of unprofessional, and and I'll just be myself and do. But when I go to the ring, I'm just going a heel character, or whatever you want to call it, and I even tell them, like, hey, work with me, I'm a heel. Anymore.
Right,
I mean, they're so smart. But, no, that what you're saying is old school, and that's the way it was. You did not do that. No way. You didn't sign autographs. You didn't come out and shake hands with people or sign anything or anything. You were just a total heel. You didn't do it. You didn't want them to see you, actually, till you come to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Zane, I'm going to kick it over to you. I'm drawing a blank on questions now.
Well, I've got a couple more, Tracy. First off, how's the game going?
Oh, good. Cleveland's winning 22-16.
Okay, all right, still tight game. When you're going out and about, what stories do you hear most from the fans? Do they talk about your time in WCW or Smoky Mountain or ECW or WWF?
Well, a lot of them talk about stuff happened in the old days, and they do. And but they talk about current, what's going on, currently now. Mostly WWF, WWE. I mean, I think it's good that TNA and Ring of Honor are on the spike, back to back. I think that's good for the business, and you want to hope that it just gets people talking about our business. And of course, WWE's on the Wednesday. What's that? NXT. That's a good. I've caught that a couple of times. What a show! That's a great show. That's the hottest show going, from what I see. Global Force. Jeff's doing his thing. You want to hope that the more the merrier, because it always was good for the business to have more places for the guys to go. And it's like people, they like fast food. They may want McDonald's one day. They may want Wendy's or Burger King or Taco Bell. You know what I mean? And they like them all, but and it's good for them to have a variety. And the more the people are watching wrestling, it's better for our business. But there's so much on TV that it's pretty hard to get them to come pay. But it's hard, and there's so much on TV. Period. You know what I mean? I mean, when I was a kid, I remember there was ABC, NBC, CBS, and the kids station. That's it. Now it's about 4,000.
Yeah, probably 4,000, plus the distractions of the internet and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, YouTube, of course, the network, the WWE network, and my gosh, they got everything on there.
Well, I'm going to kick it back over to Will real quick, but my final question for you, I am a huge mark for Jurassic Park, and the new movie comes out, Jurassic World comes out on this Friday. Are you excited to see that, or is that not your cup of tea?
Oh, I watched the first one. I remember it, and then I forgot all about that. That's coming out this week?
Yeah, the new Jurassic World comes out this week.
Cool. Did you guys see the San Andreas that Rock just did?
I haven't seen that.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Did you see it?
I've seen it.
Was it good?
Yep. You know what? There was a couple things I didn't like about it, but they were really small things. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie. It's like a roller coaster. It starts off really high, brings you down a little bit, brings you right back up. It's a roller coaster, the whole movie. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, a lot of his movies are good. Boy, he's done good. It grossed big numbers, didn't it? Right? It drew big numbers. Right?
Oh yeah. It did great at the box office.
Yeah, unbelievable. He's involved in so much stuff. It's just crazy, and it's amazing what all
he's making that money, isn't he?
God, he's like the number one actor in Hollywood, action star in Hollywood.
Yep.
He's just
Tracy,
everywhere.
Tracy, did you ever work with The Rock early in his career? I know he spent some time.
No. I knew him since he's in the 9th grade, and I knew his dad. I used to travel with his dad, And, but I knew him, and he was always smart, quiet, and smart kid. He just observed everything, and of course, you see what he's done, and yeah, it's amazing. It's mind blowing. He's everywhere. He really is. He's got that Ballers coming out. He's got, of course, the movie San Andreas we just talked about. He's doing something with Rock the Troops or something like that.
Yeah, he's doing his own tribute to the troops. Yeah.
I think he was in that. I think he was in that Entourage. I think he had a appearance in the Entourage movie too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think I heard something about that. I could be wrong, but I think I heard something about that.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. And somebody who's everywhere, I'm going to kick it over to the Morning Star, the NWA Continental Champion, Will Huckabee. Will, what are your final questions for Tracy Smothers?
Yeah, hey Tracy, I've got to ask you this because a mutual friend of ours, my good buddy Shane Andrews, was telling me a story one time that involved you, saying that him and Jesse and Nick had got lost and stuff, and they called you and was like, "Hey, we're lost. Can you tell us how to get to this place?" And over the phone, by memory, you was able. All they had to tell you was what highway they were on, what mile marker, and you were able to direct them anywhere, or actually able to direct them directly to the building, basically. Now I'm going to ask you, when you're traveling and stuff, you're going to see shows. Do you just know how to get there, or because of your countless years of running up and down the road, or do you like the rest of us to get GPS?
Honestly, years and years of going to the places, probably as long as or longer than they've been alive. I've been in and out of the business since 1983, so 32 years. But if I have my map in front of me, I'm not good with GPSs, but I don't know them as good as I did. It depends. Sometimes it comes right to me, but sometimes it don't. But a lot of places you're familiar with because you've been in and out of them for a long time.
Now, how do you feel about, because you're very active on social media and stuff. There are a lot of these younger guys who don't want to go up and down the road and stuff. Do you think that traveling and going to as many quality places, let's go ahead and put that word there, as many quality companies as possible, is essential and vital for a lot of these younger wrestlers who are trying to make their way into the business?
Yeah, because, a lot of guys, and you guys, I think, can vouch for this, about every shows you go to, it's a different crowd, a different promotion, and they have a different style or different what they want out of what they're doing. And it's just experience. Experience is the best teacher, and all styles to try to learn. Especially nowadays, there's so many guys that are just so good and talented, and there's so many of them out there trying to get a break. And you pretty well young guys have to do it to keep up with the Joneses. With me, I just do it around my job, and I just want to have fun. And I try to go and just help the show, help the guys, whatever I can do. If I'm doing a seminar, watch the matches, and guys ask me to watch my match, which I watch them anyway. They ask for advice. I try to help them, and just try to take care of the business. You know what I mean? It's gotta be some helping guys, and some don't really so much. But I always like doing that. But yeah, I encourage guys to go anywhere they can and to get experience, especially if it's somewhere where they can go learn. And you never quit learning. You never do. You don't. You really don't.
Now, going into that and stuff, and now, of course, everybody knows about the whole WWE Tough Enough, and they cut their list down to 40 people. How do you feel about the whole WWE people sending in videos and stuff to try to make a shot to go to NXT? How do you feel about the whole Tough Enough series?
Well, it stirs interest. I remember when they first started it, in I guess, like you said, the Kayfabe era, when they're exposing everything that we do, but then it's been exposed a long time, and it was just like, oh man. And now it looks like it always didn't. The last one, weren't they doing like 3-4 million people on their initial broadcast? Right before Raw, it would show. Am I right? Didn't it show before Raw and after Raw? Yeah. So people obviously want to watch it and see the ins and outs of what we do. And, you know, I remember seeing Triple H punch a guy on there, you know, hit him with a working punch. And I can't remember if the guy sold or not. I just thought, oh, man. You know, but now,
that was a couple of seasons ago.
That was a long time ago. Am I right? That was years ago. I remember watching that. But, and I saw some stuff Al Snow did, and I caught some of that, because I knew, Ryan Howell, does the skid mark.
Yes.
Remember who I'm talking about? Yeah. He, was with, Jesse Bell, you know, Jesse Bell Smothers. They were together then during that. And, so I'd catch replays of that most of the time because I was working a lot on the Monday night, but it would show a lot. But, I mean, it stirs interest in our business, I guess, is how you got to look at it. The Diva search too, everything's changed and different. And, you know, and it's something that'll be good programming for them, I guess, on the WWE network. And, it obviously works for them because it does get always a good view and audience, you know. But I don't guess it'll be on TV at all anymore. Now it'll just be the network, right?
Yeah. Right? But the reason why I'm asking that, Tracy, is because, you know, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, a guy had to.
There's no way. You'd have never, it would have never seen the light of day.
I'm saying, like, you know, back in the territory days, you had to, you know, getting to New York was the goal because that's where the big money was at. And you had to, you know, work the territories and really learn your craft. And nowadays, you just got to have to look, and New York will train you. So that's why I have to ask you that question.
They really want people that's never even watched wrestling and you know what I mean? I've never have no wrestling experience because they teach them their way, and but they always seem to have some indie guys, you know, that they have in there too, because they know that these guys don't have the first clue. Most of them never even watched wrestling, you know. And I don't know. You see, some of them turn out all right, but then some not. But I know what you're saying. That would have. I heard a story a few years ago. A guy. I guess they were real high on him, and I don't think he ever watched wrestling at all. I mean, he was just like built like a Greek god or something. And Dusty was talking to him, and he asked him 2 or 3 times what his name was. He just honestly, he had no clue who Dusty Rhodes was. And I can't remember, there's another story I heard where somebody didn't even know who Andre the Giant was. And they're in the dressing room. I mean, can you imagine that? When I was trainer in 2000, I can remember Rodney, Main Street Posse. Rodney, not Pete, Rodney. I mean, Rodney just didn't know. We had a tape on, and Muda, you know, this was in year 2000, and Muda was on in the match, and he goes, hey, this Japanese guy, Muda, did he used to be a big deal or something? And everybody's like, oh my God, this way, you know. But Rodney had never watched any wrestling except WWF, WWE, and Muda never worked for them. He had no idea who he was. But you'd think that somebody that was a wrestling fan, you know, would watch, but because he was good friends with Shane. You know, he grew up together. And, I remember that. All guys went crazy. You know?
Now, here's my last question, Tracy. Because I've heard some people have so many different definitions and stuff. How many years, how many matches, how much time in the business does a person need to have before they can even consider calling themselves a vet?
I don't know. That's kind of hard. That's kind of hard. You know, I kind of, as far as for myself, I felt somewhat, I wouldn't say vet, but more seasoned after about 5 years. And then maybe at 10 years, maybe at that, you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like, do you know who, Sarah Bridges, Crazy Mary Dobson? You know who she is?
Yeah.
Girl wrestler. Yeah, she's doing awesome. Real good. She's great. Well, Pondo, you know, and that's his girlfriend, and Pondo with shows, and they wanted, Sarah, girls for Sarah to work with. Well, Pondo knew a lot of the girl wrestlers had been around a while, so he helped get her booked with girls that taught her in the ring within 2 years, man. She was just God. I mean, 2 or 3 years, I believe, 3 years now. She's just great because she's got to work with some of the top girls, independent girls in our business, and Pondo kind of set that up, so she learned fast, and of course has been to Japan a few times and everything else. So it's all different now than before, and I guess you just kind of got to adjust,
Oh, all right, Tracy. I know that your time is running short. You've got to watch the game.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to your fans out there that are listening to you right now?
To the people in our business and the fans, there's so much negativity. There's so much. The bar is so high. To enjoy the show, enjoy the guys. You have no idea what they go through till you lived it, eat it, breathed it, and done it. And and sometimes it's not always up to the standards go so high that just enjoy it, quit critiquing it so much. And then you see all this with everybody hating on everybody. And I mean, can you imagine some of these shows that they run against each other the same night or a week apart or whatever, and they're hating it? Would you want to take your family to hear all that? And I mean, I know that a lot of smart marks at shows, but still you won't have a show where they ain't cussing so much on the mic and you know what I mean? Where you bring your kids, bring your family, but and any show has got to be like a restaurant, all types of food. You know what I mean? Different styles of different things, and and to make it all mean something. But support the business because the thing about it is like there's 2, 3. How many guys are in the studio right there?
Oh, there's 3 of us on the line with you.
Okay. All right. Just for instance, all 3 of you, just say, I mean, I'm not saying if y'all weren't cool and, maybe I could stand each other, had heat about something. If you came to a show, you're on a show together, you're going to do business, and you're going to do, because the number one thing is the business is bigger than any of us, and you love the business or you wouldn't be there. So
That's
put
right.
aside all that personal stuff when you walk through the door. It's, but a lot don't look at it like that, but they should,
Well,
I hear so much and see so much negativity, and it just makes me sick. I just go, man, can we all just get along?
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, Tracy, can you plug your social media site so our listeners can follow you along to know where you're going to be, like in Alabama this weekend and Michigan next weekend?
Yeah, I'm at Tracy Smothers 70 at yahoo.com, on Facebook. One with the girls, that's me, the daughters. And June 13th, this coming Friday, internet pay-per-view in Jasper, Alabama for Dwayne Nelson. And Bob Armstrong will be there. Steve and myself tagging up. It's a Wild Eyed Southern Boys reunion. Wildcat Wendell Cooley. A lot of Mike Jackson. Mike Jackson will be there, Alabama junior heavyweight champion. And, and I think they have a 1:00 show that day. Derek King will be there. He does a reality show. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever that reality show, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
Derek's there.
Wrestling with
Derek's there. That's it. Yeah, he's Derek Sarah. It's at 1:00 at the mall in Jasper. It's free. That's June 13th, and then June 20th is Adrian, Michigan for I can't remember, it's called Big Time Pro Wrestling. And Adrian, Michigan, I'm doing a seminar and a show. The 21st, I'm in Peoria, Illinois, doing a seminar. Sorry. And then June 26th and 27th, a festival for IWA, or not IWA, I'm sorry, Midwest Impact Pro. And you can check their Facebook for details. It's a 2-day festival, 26th, 27th. As far as I know, July 16th, I think it's Camden, Tennessee, or Waverly, Tennessee. I'm sorry, Waverly, Tennessee for Big Bill Smotherman. And then July 18th, I'm in Temple, Georgia. July 24th, I'm in Bellevue, Illinois. August 1st, around Peoria, Illinois. I can't remember. It's for Rex Gill. And then August 8th, I'm in Rockford, Rockwood, Tennessee, near Knoxville, for Paul Eubanks and Ox Harley. And August 15th for Wildcat Pro Wrestling for Luke Hawk around New Orleans. 22nd at West Newton, Pennsylvania, for the RWA for Dr. Feelgood, Derek. And that's as far as I know.
You rock, sir.
All right.
We really appreciate you taking some time with us this evening. You have a fantastic evening.
Okay, guys. Go Cavs. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.